Have you ever wondered how to look more put together, even without buying expensive clothes or wearing a full face of makeup? Because here's something most of us don't realize. When someone meets you for the first time, they aren't carefully analyzing your outfit or trying to figure out what luxury brand you're wearing. In fact, their mind subconsciously registers something completely different. Within mere seconds, the human brain picks up on a handful of subtle triggers, things most of us never think about. And once you understand what these cues actually are, you'll stop spending money on the wrong things and start focusing on what actually makes you look polished, highly capable, and effortlessly refined. I used to think looking put together simply meant having a better wardrobe. I told myself, if I just buy nicer clothes, or learn better makeup techniques, or follow the latest fashion trends, I'll finally look like those women who always seem effortlessly polished. I wasted so much money buying outfit after outfit, hoping the next purchase would be the magic fix, when all I really needed to do was steam the clothes I already owned. But the more I observed people, and the more I studied human behavior, the more I realized something surprising. Some people wear designer brands from head to toe and still look uncoordinated or uncomfortable, while others wear the simplest outfits imaginable and somehow look elegant, memorable, and deeply respected. So what's the difference? It turns out the answer has very little to do with owning more things. Our brains aren't scanning people the way we think they are. Today, I want to take you through the 7 things your brain notices first, that shape how people perceive you before you even say a word. And I promise, they have nothing to do with price tags and everything to do with building your personal capital and opening up real-life opportunities. Here's one of the most fascinating things about human perception. Researchers have found that our brains often begin forming deep impressions within mere seconds of meeting someone. Your brain is constantly trying to make sense of the world as efficiently as possible. Imagine if you had to consciously analyze every single detail of every person you met throughout the day. It would be exhausting. So instead, your mind relies on shortcuts. Think about walking into a job interview, introducing yourself to your child's teacher, or attending a family gathering where you haven't seen anyone in years. These are high-stakes moments where people haven't had the chance to know your incredible personality yet. Your appearance becomes your introduction. Within seconds, the other person's mind quietly asks, "Does this person seem organized? Do they take care of themselves? Are they competent?" Notice what it isn't asked. First impressions don't ask, "Is that a luxury handbag?" Instead, it's looking for shortcuts that signal how you carry your life. Looking put together isn't about vanity. It's about reducing the little visual distractions that keep people from seeing the real you. Now, let's look at the very first thing the brain processes. The common belief is that to elevate your look, you need more expensive garments. But psychologically, the human mind subconsciously registers order before it processes style. I remember running out the door in a brand new blouse, but because I hadn't taken 2 minutes to steam it, I felt completely unpolished the entire day. The price tag didn't save me. A simple white shirt that is clean, crisp, and free of lint almost always creates a stronger impression of competence and commands. More respect than an expensive luxury blazer that is poorly fitted or wrinkled. Before you go on another shopping trip, look at your closet and ask, am I maintaining what I already own? Sometimes a fabric shaver, a lint roller, or a quick session with a steamer creates a bigger transformation than a whole new wardrobe. But visual order is only the canvas. There is an evolutionary signal we broadcast from our faces that no amount of clothing can override, which brings us to the second thing. We often think, if I just find the perfect full coverage foundation or the right lipstick shade, I'll look instantly put together. But long before someone notices the precision of your makeup, their brain scans your face for evolutionary cues of vitality and wellness. When we are burnt out, dehydrated, or running on empty, our faces carry microsignals of stress. Heavy makeup layered over neglected skin often highlights texture rather than hiding fatigue. Your mind subconsciously registers your level of rest and health before it ever evaluates your cosmetics. Think about walking into a morning meeting with a client. Radiating natural energy communicates capability far better than trying to camouflage exhaustion. I noticed a massive shift when I stopped trying to camouflage my skin and started focusing on hydration, quality sleep, and a relaxed expression. When you prioritize health over camouflage, you radiate a natural vibrancy that makes you look instantly grounded and ready for any opportunity. Yet you can have the most vibrant skin in the world. But if you miss what psychologists call the border effect, the entire illusion of polish falls apart. So moving on to the next, here is the third aspect your brain picks up on. Here is something almost nobody talks about. We can spend an hour planning the perfect outfit, only to rush out with wet hair or flyaways sticking out in every direction because we ran out of time. Think about sitting across from a potential employer or a new friend at a cafe. Our eyes naturally drift upward during a conversation. Psychologically, human attention is highly concentrated on the frame. Just like a beautiful piece of art loses its impact if the frame is broken or dusty, an incredible outfit loses its polish if your hair and framing features look accidental. It doesn't mean you need an intricate salon-grade blowout every morning. It simply means your features look like they were dealt with on purpose. A sleek low bun, a clean part, or simply taming flyaways takes less than 2 minutes, but it gives your entire presentation immediate structural order, ensuring the focus stays on your words, not your distractions. Now, let's move to a detail that seems completely insignificant. But scientists have found that the brain uses this detail to quietly judge your character. This next aspect that our brain filters really surprised me. Psychologists have found that our brains naturally notice completion, or the lack of it. People unconsciously use tiny, unfinished details to estimate someone's level of conscientiousness. Now, this becomes the psychological measure of a person's thoroughness, organization, and trustworthiness. Think about shaking hands with a client, doing gestures during a presentation, or handing over a document. Your hands are your primary tools of connection. Many believe they need luxury rings to look elegant, but the mind subconsciously registers a half-chipped nail, a wrinkled cuff, an untucked tag, or a loose thread as a signal that the details are being overlooked in your life. You don't need weekly professional manicures. Clean, bare, neatly filed natural nails and taking 10 seconds to clip a loose thread send a powerful, silent signal. I finished what I started. And when the world sees you care about the small things, they instinctively trust you with the bigger things. But what happens when the details are completely finished, but the way you carry yourself tells a different story? This leads to the fifth detail. The next detail that our brain notices doesn't cost anything, but it changes the entire environment when you walk into a room. And this detail is your posture. We often think posture is just a physical habit to prevent back pain, but your body takes up space before your voice does. When your shoulders are rolled forward and your head is down, your body signals a desire to shrink to hide. The brain of the observer registers this as a lack of confidence or comfort in your own skin. Even a beautifully tailored suit looks unpolished when worn with defensive body language. When you pull your shoulders back, lift your chin slightly, and occupy your space with ease, you instantly elevate your entire appearance. It acts like a visual pedestal, telling the world that you are fully present, confident, and intentional, making the simplest t-shirt and jeans look like a deliberate style choice. There is a fascinating brain rule called the Gestalt effect that governs how all these pieces fit together. And if you break this rule, even the most expensive items look out of place. Which brings us to the sixth aspect that our brain checks on. Have you ever seen someone wearing a beautiful coat, but their shoes were heavily scuffed and dirty? It feels jarring. This happens because your mind subconsciously registers a mismatch through the Gestalt effect, the psychological principle that the human brain naturally tries to view things as a unified whole rather than a collection of separate parts. The biggest mistake we make is investing heavily in one single statement piece, like a luxury handbag, while letting the rest of the look fall apart. The brain notices the contrast instantly. It feels fragmented, like a story that doesn't make sense. To look truly put together, aim for balance over luxury. It is far better to wear a completely modest, budget-friendly outfit where your shoes are clean, the colors complement each other, and your accessories are cohesive than to mix luxury with neglect. Cohesion creates harmony, and harmony looks expensive. Finally, there is one last detail that the mind filters. It is completely invisible, yet it leaves the most permanent memory in the human mind: your scent. The final detail your brain notices isn't visual at all. It's experiential. It is your sensory presence, specifically your scent and freshness. A massive part of a first impression is based on how you affect the environment around you. These cues quietly influence the impression you leave. A subtle, clean signature scent or the simple freshness of properly laundered clothes acts as an invisible punctuation mark to your presentation. If someone looks pristine but carries the scent of stale air or overpowering chemicals, it creates sensory confusion. On the flip side, a soft, inviting, and clean aura leaves a trace of elegance long after you leave the room. Find a light fragrance that compliments you. Ensure your clothes are cared for properly, and let your presence speak softly. You never need to shout to be memorable. If there's one thing I hope you take away from today's video, it's this. Looking put together isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about making sure your appearance reflects the woman you are already working so hard to become. Think about it. Every healthy meal you've eaten, every workout, every skincare routine you've built, every early morning, every difficult decision to take care of yourself behind closed doors, those are your investments to yourself. Don't let those investments be hidden behind small details that are so easy to improve. Because the world meets your appearance before it discovers your character. But when the two finally align, that's when confidence becomes effortless. That's why I don't see looking put together as vanity. I see it as one of the highest forms of self-investment. Your health, your appearance, and your presence are assets that compound over time. It is your personal capital. And when you consistently show up with intention, the best glow up isn't the one people compliment. It's the one that changes how you walk into every single room. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy and learn something from today's video, subscribe and join our community. I'll see you in the next video. As always, stay gorgeous.